Hey guys, welcome back. I am here today to tell you about the time that I met Vivian Campbell. Okay, so I'm thinking this is 1992, maybe 1993. I can't say for sure exactly what the timetable was, but it had to be either January or February of one of those years. Because I met him at the NAMM show. If you don't know what the NAMM show is, it's this huge music convention that they have usually in Anaheim, California every year, January or February. And there are tons of musicians and rock stars there walking around. So I'm walking along and all of a sudden I see Vivian Campbell. There he is, right there, just walking along. So of course, me being a huge Def Leppard fan, I've got to stop him and say something. So I say, "Hey, Vivian, congratulations on joining Def Leppard. That's totally awesome." And he was a nice guy, polite. He stopped, he said hi, he said thanks, I appreciate it, something along those lines. But guys, let me tell you one thing. He was extremely ripe. You know what I mean by that? Body odor. I'm just mentioning it because when I got within a couple of feet of him, it was like, whoa, you couldn't not notice it. But that has nothing to do with Vivian as a person or a guitar player or my conversation that I had with him. A very short conversation, by the way. So when you're at this convention, this NAMM show, you run into a lot of people like that. They're usually walking around. They usually have some people with them, some friends, part of their entourage or whatever, and they don't want to stop and have like a long conversation with a fan. For him, I'm just a complete stranger, and he was probably stopped many times by fans who wanted to get a picture or an autograph or whatever. So I knew I only had like a very brief window to say something, just a few seconds. And I didn't have anything planned out because you don't know who you're gonna run into at the NAMM show. I mean, I literally see him walking and a couple of seconds later, I'm standing next to him and I wanna say something. So it's just kind of the first thing that comes to my mind just kind of gets blurted out. So after I told him, congratulations, it's awesome that you're in the band, then I said, I hope that you will bring them back towards a more hard rock direction. And what I meant by that was, something more back along the lines of like Pyromania or High and Dry. You have to remember, at this point, the band had just released Adrenalize. And I do like Adrenalize, but, after Hysteria and then Adrenalize was kind of like a more watered down version of Hysteria, just really, really polished, and I just wanted something a little bit more raw. I didn't want them to go even more in that direction. I wanted them to go a little bit more back towards the raw hard rock sound that I loved from Pyromania. So that's why I suggested it to Vivian. And I thought, him coming from Dio, and Dio is obviously more hard-edged and more hard rock than Def Leppard, I just kind of assumed that that's what he would want to do. And of course, yes, he was in Whitesnake and the band with Lou Gramm and some other things, but really I was just kind of thinking about the Dio connection there. Alright, so right after I said that, what does Vivian turn and say to me? Instead of saying, yeah, I'm gonna inject some metal and some hard edge and just bring it back to their original sound, no! He said, or maybe I'll just take them in the opposite direction, kind of away from that. As in, not back towards the hard rock sound, but in the opposite direction of the hard rock sound. That way. And my face must have looked like this. At least that's how I felt on the inside. Now, all these years later, having hindsight, I realized that at that point in time, that's kind of where Vivian was at, songwriting-wise. Now that Slang has come out, but remember, at that point, there was no Slang. Now, when you look at Slang, and you look at the single, it was the lead single, Work It Out, that song was written by Vivian all by himself. So that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of songs that he was interested in writing and recording. It was not like the early 80s Def Leppard that I knew and loved. So yeah, I was extremely disappointed in his response. I don't think I let him know that I was extremely disappointed. hope that I masked it on my face as much as possible, and I must have said something like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, right on. All right, well thanks, nice meeting you." And that was pretty much it. So yeah, I was bummed, and you know, on Slang, honestly guys, Work It Out is probably my least favorite song on that album, and I like that album. It's grown on me more and more over the years. I think there are a ton of great songs on there. Some that, you know, really sound like Def Leppard and some not so much, but I really like most of the stuff on that album, and it kind of baffles me that like that was their choice for the lead-off single. And the band kind of has a history of choosing first singles from an album that are like not the best song, not the strongest song. So it's really not that surprising. Anyway guys, that's how my conversation with Vivian Campbell went down. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? If you had run into Vivian Campbell at that same time, after it had been announced that he joined the band, he was in the band, but they hadn't recorded any new music together, and you bump into him somewhere and you know you got like 1 minute tops to talk to him, what would you have said? What question might have you asked him? Leave a comment and let me know. And be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed already. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Later.